First of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network.
All right. I think we can all agree that Donald Trump's interview at the National Association of Black Journalists did not get off to a great start. But if there's anything we know about Donald Trump, it's that he is a professional who never takes things personally. I'm just kidding. It's Donald Trump we're talking about here.
And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something. For you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Seriously, every single thing this guy says is a lie and has to be fact-checked, which is why the interview started an hour and a half late. Trump didn't want to face the truth. He was scared. The New York Times reported that about 45 minutes before Trump took the stage, the former president pushed back on NABJ staffers who wanted to live fact-check the event. The board pushed back against the last-minute demand. When Trump took the stage, he said the delay was due to NABJ's audio issues. Once again, Donald Trump confirmed what we all know to be true. He's nothing more than a spoiled brat who whines like a little
pussy-ass bitch.
And he thinks that he's immune from everything, especially answering tough questions from black female journalists.
A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. Why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Throughout the interview, Trump was met with constant laughter to his face, like when he said this.
A lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that...
Oh, hold on. The journalists in the room were black? Wow. I mean, could it be because it's the National Association of Black Journalists?
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
From the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best...
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right. So you're telling me that migrants are stealing jobs from journalists, Olympic gold medal gymnasts, presidents, and future presidents? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Trump's performance was a complete disaster, and he can only blame himself. But in true Trump-like fashion, he said he crushed it. Look, if your team has to pull you off 34 minutes into an hour-long scheduled interview, you are not, in fact, crushing it. Trump's team normally lets him ramble on for hours in front of a teleprompter, but after a half hour of him answering tough questions, they were like, nope, he's done, cut it now, interview is over. I mean, it was so bad that even Fox News' Harris Faulkner was appalled by Trump's outbursts.
If I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated me...
Oh my goodness.
But don't worry, Faulkner tried to spin this and defend Trump as soon as the interview was over.
It was chippy at times, but for the most part they were laughing and they were getting kind of what they didn't have before this, and that was a conduit to a man that they see a lot on TV but don't know a lot about his policies.
But it was Fox News' Jessica Tarloff who described it perfectly.
It was a complete, absolute dumpster fire for the former president. I don't feel the need to give him any credit for showing up there because he came with a terrible attitude. He hit all of his regular hits, lying about his record for black Americans. The comparison saying he's done the most for the black community since Abraham Lincoln is obviously ridiculous. Unemployment is lower for black Americans under Joe Biden than Donald Trump. Everybody knows that. Even Donald Trump knows that. People have told him. He just won't stop. I thought that he was rude and offensive to the questioners. I don't think, in response to what Joe was saying, that asking him, for instance, about calling Kamala Harris a DEI hire is going into debate mode. This is who his opponent is, and then his response that she used to be Indian and is now somehow black was offensive no matter the color of their skin.
All right, look.
Now, it wouldn't be Trump if he didn't try to blame everyone else for his own awful performance.
I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala.
Trump is intentionally saying Vice President Kamala Harris's name wrong as a dog whistle, and boy does he blow that whistle hard throughout this entire interview.
I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense, and then you said you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming.
Trump knew Harris wasn't going to be there, and he still went. He posted about it on Truth Social before the NABJ even started. Crazy Kamala disrespectfully refused to attend the National Association of Black Journalists Conference, but I am on my way to meet with them now in Chicago. Because of which she'll probably end up doing. She has no choice, but remember, it is only for that reason. Trump also posted, getting ready to land in Chicago, unlike Crazy Kamala. And just in case Republicans want to use Harris's absence against her, she was delivering the eulogy at the late Representative Sheila Jackson's funeral, but leave it to Trump to spread disinformation. So just to be clear, Trump proved that he was lying via his own words on his own social network. During this interview, Trump also tried to push his favorite lie.
I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln.
Which is insane when you remember every racist thing that Trump has said, including the time that he called for the execution of the Central Park Five, who were innocent and later exonerated. Trump's tone-deaf revisionist storytelling is just
wrong.
Not only did black unemployment and poverty hit record lows under the Biden-Harris administration, but they also helped black farmers, worked on voting rights, forgave student loans, added diversity to the federal bench, lowered the cost of prescription drugs, and much, much more. But the most insanely racist part of this interview was when Trump claimed that Vice President Kamala Harris turned black. Seriously, Trump tried to roll out birtherism 2.0 to a room full of black journalists, and it was not well received.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But
identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is...
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
Trump is a racist one-trick pony who feels threatened by anyone who's accomplished, especially a person of color. He did it with President Barack Obama and even during the Republican primaries with his former UN ambassador, Nikki Haley. Also, Trump complaining about which race someone else identifies with is super rich.
I recall in his book, The Art of the Deal, Laura, when Donald Trump identified himself as Swedish, right? Because he didn't want to acknowledge that his father was German and his mother was Irish, and he thought that that would play better to those who were patronizing his businesses. So can we call the question his past of self-identifying as first Swedish, then German, and then Irish whenever it's convenient?
I think we can all agree that Trump's interview was an absolute shit show. I mean, even Republicans think that Trump crapped the bed.
He did crap the bed today. The only question is whether he's going to roll around in it or get up and change his sheets.
Actually, speaking of bed sheets, I want to thank today's sponsor, Miracle Made. Did you know that traditional bed sheets can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat? It can lead to acne, allergies, and stuffy noses, and it's just gross. Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning antibacterial bedding, such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent up to 99.7% of bacteria growth and require up to 3 times less laundry. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, so you get better sleep every night. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and feel as nice if not nicer than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. Sleep clean with Miracle. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe to try Miracle Sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo Gabe at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe and use the code Gabe to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Gabe to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. And you better believe that Trump rolled around in his own crap when he doubled down and attacked Vice President Kamala Harris's race. Trump thought it was smart to attack her by posting a photo of Harris with her family, saying, "Thank you, Kamala, for the nice picture you sent from many years ago. Your warmth, friendship, and love for your Indian heritage are very much appreciated." Trump also posted, "Crazy Kamala is saying she's Indian, not black. This is a big deal. Stone cold phony. She uses everybody, including her racial identity." So let me get this straight. According to Trump, his ultimate gotcha is her cooking with Mindy Kaling.
So we're both Indian,
Yes.
but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people
You
we're
do.
related already,
Yeah.
so this is perfect. It's basically true.
Harris has always identified as Indian and black, which seems to be very confusing for Republicans to understand. Actually, you know what? Let's use Harris's favorite thing to explain this, a Venn diagram.
I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those three circles and the analysis about where there is the intersection, right?
On the left, you have her father, who is Jamaican, which would make him black, and on the right, you have her mother, who is Indian, making Vice President Kamala Harris both black and Indian. This is not a difficult concept to comprehend, but who knows? Maybe MAGA's white supremacy is causing them to lose cognitive function. Also, considering how racist MAGA is towards JD Vance's wife, Usha, I'm surprised that Trump and his cult haven't realized that Vance's kids are biracial. Awkward. So in the span of a week, Trump and Vance have attacked women, the Jewish community, the Indian community, and now the black community. Truly a winning strategy when it comes to losing an election. And look, Trump didn't just roll around in his crap, he smeared it everywhere. Kinda like how his Jan 6 rioters smeared their own shit on the walls of the Capitol. Something I still don't understand.
140 police officers were assaulted that day. Their injuries included broken bones, at least one officer lost an eye, one had 2 cracked ribs, 2 smashed spinal discs, another had a stroke. Were the people who assaulted those 140 officers, including those I just mentioned, patriots who deserve pardons? My question is on those rioters who assaulted officers.
You have to
would you pardon
what's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You
If
would
they're
pardon
innocent,
those-
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just well, they were convicted by a very tough system.
I don't know which person on Trump's team convinced him to do this interview, but oh my God, thank you. Trump went on TV and showed his true weird and racist colors.
Look, as disappointing as it is to hear this, if it's anything, it's certainly not surprising. This is who Donald Trump is. And he reminds us time and time again, the only thing he knows is the politics of division and hatred. This is what we're confronted with again. And he doesn't even recognize the sad irony of his remark. In a real sense, Kamala Harris's story is an iteration of the American story. The diversity that is among us and often within us. And that is the American story, out of many one, e pluribus unum. And she carries that literally in her veins. And in that sense, he doesn't know who we are. And if you don't know us, you can't represent us. You certainly can't lead us.
Donald Trump went to the NABJ thinking he was going to use these journalists as a racist prop, but in the end, journalists like Rachel Scott may have just ended Trump's political career. Well, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to follow me at I Am Gabe Sanchez. What Was That is made possible by viewers like you. And if you'd like to support the show and help us grow, you can make a contribution to my Patreon at patreon.com/IamGabeSanchez. Thank you for your support. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?